This is Nicholas Glover with the Tampa Bay Chamber. I want to thank and welcome the viewers tuning into our 2023 candidate interview series for the City of Tampa City Council elections. The Chamber focuses on policy, not politics. And while we do not endorse, we do want to make sure that our members and the business community are informed on where these candidates stand on the issues most important to them. We are excited to have George Feshev running for City Council District 3 Citywide with us today. Thank you for joining us, George.
Thank you for having me. So I'm George Feshev, and I'm running for Tampa City Council District 3 to make our city safer. First priority. I was a victim of violent crime 3 years ago when I was shot in the head while having dinner with my teenage daughter. I survived with a minor speech impairment that doctors say will go away. They also gave me the nickname The Hunted. I will work to make the city safer by empowering the police, allowing them to do their job. I will work to implement the broken window program that has been successful in numerous large cities, emphasizing the importance of not allowing small crimes to go unpunished. Other big point in my platform is the taxes. I will advocate for lower taxes and I will fight any attempt to raise them again. Lower taxes will support the economic growth by creating more local jobs which will help reducing the poverty. When Hillsborough County raised the taxes to 8.5% in 2019 till the 2021 for like 2 years, a little bit over 2 years, our county had the highest sales taxes in Florida and our GDP declined in a result. I can mention the numbers. Pasco County for this time, their growth was 13.3, while we are only 7.9. We lost businesses, we lost well-paying jobs to the other counties. By strengthening the economy, our budget will have more money to fund the rental assistance and affordable housing program designated to assist residents in need, including the homeless. I will also work for a total accountability from all elected city officials and as well as appointed leaders. For example, the police chief should be involved in investigation of murders, attempted murders, and other brutal violent crimes. This will help build more community trust and send a strong message to the criminals that their behavior will not be tolerated anymore. This is my platform. If you'd like to know more about me, or maybe later in an interview, we can go with this. My website is votegeorge4tampa.com, and also the same is my email address at gmail.com. votegeorge4tampa@gmail.com. Facebook account is very easy, George the Hunted. This name, it's easy to remember, nobody want to forget. There is a story, there is a lot of pictures, and all about me. I have the education, I have experience, and I have the will, which is the most important, and the heart to do it. Thank you.
Excellent, George. Thank you so much for that introduction. Let's talk about the role of City Council. What is the role of City Council, and do you see that role changing over the course of your term?
The role of City Council is well determined in the city charter, and now they're trying to put on a ballot. I think it's already in a ballot amendment that will let the City Council a little bit more power over the appointed city top officials by the mayor. For example, the new police chief that we are looking to get a new one right now, it has definitely to be approved and also interviewed by the City Council, because the mayor has many priorities and we have to make sure she has her energy in the right way. I'm sure she's capable of and handle the job, but still we have to be some using our power as a guidance to make sure the city is going into the right direction.
Thank you, George. I want to talk about something that's very important to the Chamber, which is workforce housing. And for context, the Chamber defines workforce housing as that missing middle, that 80 to 120% of area median income. George, what policies would you like to see take place, whether they be about zoning or code or anything like that, that provides the opportunity to grow the workforce housing inventory and to solve the needs in Tampa? What changes would you like to see?
Okay, the work for housing should be different than affordable housing, which is designed for the residency need. And I think with the zoning of the city, it's a part of the problem. We have to make sure that we have to stop the overbuilding first. And we have to have the area that provides a better transportation for our workforce to be able to, go to the places of work. Also, as we're doing right now, a Zoom meeting. This is another source of people to work from home. From the transportation point, fixing the street and make them up to the capacity. Make sure they don't have the potholes, so the speed can be as the way it should be. That will help a lot also.
Thank you. We started off by talking about the role of city council, and thank you for that response. But I want to talk about the budget, which, as you know, approving the budget is one of city council's biggest responsibilities. And some budget analysts and experts are anticipating potentially a slowdown during your term. How should the city prioritize spending during that time period?
First, we have to make sure the check and balances system work and make sure to know where the money goes, because we have a budget. We have to optimize our spending. In my way of managing things as an international consultant of maritime business, I don't do big changes right away. I learn the system. I see where the negative parts are. So this is I'm gonna do with the budget. I will make sure the money they don't fall within the cracks. So we have to optimize it first before we increase it. There are definitely enough money in the budget to handle it. Just we have to prioritize.
Thank you. Let's switch gears and talk about the idea of home rule. Local governments across the state have been critical recently of the legislature. Do you also agree that preemption has become a problem in Tallahassee? And if so, what would you do to establish a more productive working relationship with our legislative delegation?
We have a good laws and we just need to enforce them. They're designed to work for us and for our protection, of course. Preemption is when central government, which is has to be very small, is trying to get over our local government. And this is not the America I know. Local government has to have the power. And I've seen many ways of the Tallahassee and even Washington trying to get involved. The recent one was the Capitol Police, and they want to come just right here in Tampa for some reason. So I definitely support the power of the local government. They know the local issue better, and the local government can reach out for more information and even for help to Tallahassee, but has to be up to them. And preemption is not something I will support.
Great, thank you, George. Economic development, as you might imagine, is very important to the chamber. Utilization of public-private partnerships continues to be an asset for local governments across the country. George, what opportunities for P3s do you see in the city of Tampa?
Public to partnership, private partnership is important because as a city, we may have a chance to influence and motivate the private companies to work with us for a better future in Tampa. One of the projects is the one with the stadium. So there are many projects about how we can do it. I definitely like the idea and I want to have it here. And I'm open to talk with the investors about how the city can participate. Participate means doesn't do the whole work. So we would like to have a portion of the project. So this way we can have also influence.
Thank you. We talked about transportation very briefly earlier. I want to dive a little deeper into that. Uncertainty persists with the already collected All for Transportation referendum dollars. And as you may know, George, the fate of those dollars rests now in the hands of the Florida legislature. Assuming that Hillsborough is able to secure the funds this legislative session, what are the most important transportation investments that you'd like to see?
Like I said, fixing the street and making up to the capacity. Right now we have a potholes, we have a problems in the street. This slows the traffic and create a congestion. From the other side, I do not support the tax for trucks because first it's confusing citizen, increasing taxes, slowing the economy, and from the practical point, just adding another transportation venue at the South Tampa, which is already pretty busy. There is no space where we're going to put these rails, and it's going to create more traffic instead of slowing the traffic. We need to concentrate to fix the road first before you go for another project. There are many plans what to do with the money. $560 million is sitting, like you say, in the hands of the legislature. How we can all use this money? One of the ideas is to return to the citizen, but there are citizens that come here after the 2021 when this was taken down from the court. So they are going to have unfair advantage, and there are citizens that move out of the city and they did pay the taxes, so they cannot get the money back. So there are going to be a lot of those lawsuit cases. So that for me is not an option. We should use the money to do something for the people who put the money, the whole county. It's not going to be just the Tampa. It's not fair.
Thank you. We've touched on several important policy positions today, but before we wrap up, is there a priority, George, that we did not get a chance to talk about that you'd like to discuss, or something you want to circle back to and reemphasize?
Economic growth is very important for any aspect of our social life. It's affect how the businesses, now we see from our county, there are a lot of businesses moving out. Pasco County just get the new Moffitt Center. We see the warehouses built all over in Lakeland, in Paul County. We see Sarasota is growing with the new airport and the big shopping centers. So we need to concentrate on this. We need to have some more investors here. Beautiful places, Tampa. You see it. We have a lot of birds and a lot of fruits. We can have one more of them, especially the birds. Maybe they are looking for a new headquarters.
Thank you.
Talking about the Twitter.
George, you mentioned early on where people can go to find out more information about you. You gave us your website. Why don't you remind the viewers where they can go to find out more about you and your campaign?
Yeah, again, my website, vote George 4, like a number 4, tampa.com. Also, the Facebook account I have is George the Hunted. You just Google it and it will pop up right away. There is, significant amount of information. Also, the Ballotpedia will provide information about the candidates. You can see me over here, the picture, and all my education and work and experience history. Of course, you notice I'm from Europe, and I have the accent and that speech impairment from the accident, and on top of it, I graduated over there at one of the first private university, business management, organizational behavior, and international law. I post-graduated in Athens, Greece, with the historic tourism and heritage preservation. I was founder of the local tourism organization in my area, co-founder of a regional tourism organization in Burgas, Bulgaria. Burgas is town like Tampa, big bay, a lot of people, and organization become part of the National Board of Tourism. Have experience with big organizations, and also have experience with my own business. I started here in 2008. Now I'm concentrating more into the consulting services, especially for export businesses and ocean freight. Member of Propeller Club here in Tampa, Tiger Bay Club. I'm a sitting member at the Historic Preservation Board, appointed at county commissioners in 2021. And you can learn a lot more about me on the website. Thank you.
George Feshev, running for City Council District 3 Citywide. On behalf of our members and our board of directors, we want to thank you, sir, for joining us today and for your willingness to serve in an elected office. That concludes our interview. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.